After Manchester United were dumped out of the Champions League by Barcelona in quite emphatic fashion in the end, 4-0 over 2 legs, is now the time for the rebuilding to commence at Old Trafford. Has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finally lost patience with a number of his squad? Does he know them well enough at this stage, Shaka?
I think without question he knows them well enough. And yes, it does look like he's lost patience. And rightly so. Listen, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about, or it seems like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Manchester United somehow getting the better of PSG and how that squad rose to the occasion. Now all of a sudden, after two flat performances against Barcelona, all right, understandably, maybe can you give them the difference between the two, but you also feel, or starting to feel, that Manchester United and any prospective fourth place finish is starting to slip after very poor results of late. Not just poor results, but poor performances. And maybe some of the good performances was part of that new manager bounce, as they say. But I just feel that kind of given what we'd seen and given what we'd almost gotten used to from Manchester United under Solskjaer and what you've seen over recent weeks, have been too different in their approaches, and more and more of these players are starting to cut frustrated figures when these very players were looking so happy with life, it seemed, immediately after Mourinho left.
So it's interesting timing, isn't it? Because they've got 5 league games left, sitting outside the top 4 at the moment. He's obviously looking for them to show them absolutely what they've got.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's enough time, of course. Do you think that a number of those players are severely under threat, though, given the comments he's made about there being no hiding place and that he's looking for players in every single position?
Yes, he is. Yes, he's right, and yes, they are. And listen, Manchester United, to get back to where they once were, domestically and in terms of European football, have a huge rebuild at their hands. Now, whether Solskjaer is the right person to handle that rebuild or not is something we've discussed extensively on FC. But the board have given Solskjaer the reins and he has to take charge. Now, when you look at that dressing room and you try to identify world-class talent, you've got De Gea, never mind the mistake against Barcelona. You've got Paul Pogba, who's cut a more and more frustrated figure over recent weeks, as I just mentioned, as has Rashford, though I don't think Rashford is going to go anywhere. If I'm Manchester United, I'm more leaning towards building the team around him as the main striker, so to speak. And you've got Anthony Martial, who he has cut a frustrated figure almost consistently since he's arrived. That's just how he is. But I think he has a huge role to play. Now, outside of those, I'm not sure who else feels overly secure in their position. At the same time, money is an issue, even for Manchester United. And when you've got supposedly the likes of Real Madrid sniffing around Paul Pogba, if you get a good price, that can prove the foundation for your rebuild. The other issue for Manchester United to consider at this time is I don't think as a club they still have the draw that they once did, where automatically if Manchester United are interested, it's a no-brainer. I think there are other clubs, namely Manchester City and Liverpool, just within English football, who now have surpassed them in that respect. And similarly, when you think of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp as managers who will attract players to a club, I'm not sure that Solskjaer has that kind of respect in the game just yet. You're also lumbered with the albatross that is Alexis Sanchez around your neck, that anybody who's coming in now wants to be put on Alexis Sanchez's money. And rightly so. If I'm representing any world-class talent and you pay the kind of money that United will be paying, you expect them to be paying this summer to bring players in, the first thing I'm saying is I want to get what Alexis Sanchez is getting. And I'm not sure how many players at, was it 400,000-500,000, depending on who you believe, a week, you can afford, even for Manchester United.
With a big number of changes imminent, you feel, it's difficult for them in the sense of what you just mentioned about other clubs sniffing around. In the past, his big hero, his big sort of mentor in Sir Alex Ferguson went and found the best talent that was available for lesser of a price before they were discovered. The draw of Manchester United was enough. Do you think that Solskjaer will favour that approach? And how likely is it that he's going to be able to get the talent that he really wants and the time to nurture that talent?
I think Solskjaer has to go out and find the talent somehow, and he's talking about this extensive scouting network that gets them back into top 4. and playing in the Champions League, because that is also a huge draw. In my opinion, Manchester United also have to go back to doing what they've always done well and what had been the foundation for their success, even under Sir Alex Ferguson. And that's the academy. Bring young players through. And you're starting to see that with the likes of Rashford and McTominay. You've got to continue that focus and bring your young talent through. It's far more cost effective. And again, it's what Manchester United culturally have been all about. And then go on and add that world-class talent, that one individual that you may have to spend a lot of money for, or that emerging young talent, as they did with Cristiano Ronaldo. That's where they have to go. And you earn your respect in the managerial arena by doing that and by getting results. There's no other way for Solskjaer to get the kind of results that says, if I am a player, I want to go to Manchester United, than for him to win trophies, qualify for top four, for him to play the attractive football that those types of players want to do. Because as of right now, I'm not sure you can compete financially in terms of a pure pay packet with the likes of Manchester City or a PSG or any of the others, Real Madrid or Barcelona. And I just don't think you have that draw that some of the other big managers do right now.
If they do finish in the top four, it's an if at this stage. Of course, massive games against Manchester City and Chelsea to come, which could define that. If they do it, he's going to have more funds, more credit, you would assume, and more of a draw for Manchester United to get the targets. Do you think they'll do it?
Right now, I think no. I think Spurs have been good enough at home. Talking about the top four finish, the big question was, would Spurs settle into their new digs well enough? I think you've seen that, and they have. And right now, Arsenal are in poor position. The big question mark about Arsenal was, could they win on the road? Because they are very good at the Emirates. But could they win on the road? And over recent weeks, you've kind of seen that. So right now, I think it's between City and Liverpool for top two, and between Spurs and Arsenal for 3 and 4. I think they all finish in those positions respectively. And unfortunately, Chelsea and Manchester United find themselves on the outside looking in.
So there we are, as we speak, with 5 games left. The next one for Manchester United is the game against Everton, then the derby against City and the home game against Chelsea. What a crucial week it is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as he anticipates a really busy summer. It could be, though, a 4th time in the 6 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club that Manchester United could be looking outside from the top 4, looking in and hoping for credit in the summer.